Hello, everybody. My name is Fable, and welcome to today's Toonkind at 12 FPS. Title of today's episode is Gone Fishing, and I am Fable. I'll be playing the Antlered King, and with me today is the lovely, the talented, the awesome.
Hello, everyone. Ignore that small pause for a second there. I am Vamp, and I will be playing the Ocean Child, Umi, who's just vibe.
I love this. I love this ocean. I also realized that Ocean Bug would be a really cute nickname for this child.
Aww,
Just look at this little ocean bug. I love them.
little bug,
I love them.
small child.
Umi, you've had some stuff to do this last couple days.
Yeah,
You helped a town riot against the corrupt noble. How was that?
it was interesting. Like it was fun enough, and they did have like some kind of like how like kids like have fun like sneaking around in places where they shouldn't be, and being like unnoticed. Not even Umi is like immune to that instinct.
Good, good, very
Yeah, all
good,
in all, they had lots of fun,
very
and
good.
they got to like bully the people who bullied like the townspeople and the fishermen, because Umi actually does kind of like Little Corner.
Aw. Well, I imagine a lot of the fishermen have seen Umi around. They don't know where this child comes from, but they like this little ocean child, this little ocean bug. They've gotten along with. But trying to think. Oh God, my brain stalled for a second. Uh,
It's okay.
well, I imagine after the events of the of the riot episode, episode 9, uh, Umi probably went back to the ocean to chill, to relax, and not do crazy land people shit.
Actually, they might have stayed because Ruby was kind of like really tired and stuff after the whole event, to the point where she was like, "Hey, can I nap with you underwater?" So
Aw.
they might have stayed just to keep an eye out for Ruby.
Oh, okay. In that case, Umi, you would have. Okay, then. Well, then you would have noticed the change in the castle over the last couple days, because anyone here who hasn't listened to the last episode of Ruined All Rambles might want to go listen to that because they're obviously spoilers. But Antler is officially the mayor of Little Corner. He's one step closer to his taking over Inkwell. Uh, but now that he has an official position and has a paying, more or less a paying job, Antler is now able to afford a staff to basically one to one staff to help clean up Ruindal, and a second staff, because he's mayor and he will need assistance, for paperwork and shit. But yeah, Umi, you'll definitely notice the increase of tunes coming in to start working in the castle.
Mm.
Not a
For
lot,
the most
but it's starting.
for the most part, Umi just like stays like in the underground river and like just like vibes with Ruby and Love. But I imagine like even though they never like the staff don't really see Umi themselves, like there are like wet footprints around the castle every now and then.
The now that there's a cleaning staff, there is now cleaning staff to complain about said wet footprints.
There's just his own business in the office, and then the cleaning staff are just like,
I
"Don't
mean,
take
they
this anymore."
maybe not to that extent, but they're somewhat glad that the downstairs of the castle doesn't have a lot of carpeted area to get
Yeah,
soaked with. That's an oh, hi
yeah.
cat, hello kitty cat. But
Mhm.
vamp,
Yes.
vamp. So I do not
Yeah.
know if I want to say that they made this agreement off screen, but I believe that Antler and Umi made an agreement with each other. Since
E
Umi doesn't really
did.
accept gold for payment.
No, they don't.
But Umi managed to convince Antler to basically uh, go out fishing with them, in a as a way to put it.
Basically, given that Umi's been in and out of the castle and helped out quite a few times now, and also has you know, access to sunken ships, and often brings gold jewelry back when given proper incentive.
Yep. Uh,
They made an agreement a while back that like Antler asked Umi what they'd want in exchange for all that, and Umi's response was basically just like, "Come with me, me on an ocean trip," because Umi is a simple child.
Simple ocean trip. What could possibly go wrong? Antler thinks to himself, totally imagining everything that could go wrong from a simple ocean trip. But if that's what it takes to, but at the time, Antler did not have a steady income, so and he needed the gold for he needed the gold, and this was a way to get gold. So if going out to the ocean with this child would get him the gold that he needed at the time, then yes, he will bite the bullet and do so.
Yep, yep. And
That said,
now that he actually has a steady income, though, it's time to pay up.
yep, yep. You're gonna need to catch Antler though, because you never actually because Umi, you never specified a day to go and do this. And I don't want
I
to
think
say Antler was taking advantage of that, but he was taking advantage of that, and he hasn't brought it up.
I think Umi just wakes up like a few days after the riot and it's like, oh, I'm bored. And then Umi just remembers Antler and goes, "Oh yeah," and they're gonna leave the river and pad over to where they think Antler is.
You find Antler. He's currently upstairs. One of the rooms upstairs has finally been turned into a somewhat of a meeting room for
Mm-hmm.
Antler, Captain Rusiel, and a few other officials of Little Corner to basically meet up and have meetings.
Ah, is there anyone else there right now, or is it only Antler?
It is Antler and Captain Rusiel at the moment.
All right. Well, Umi just walks in. Umi just looks in and then just walks in, pats in on wet feet.
All right. Uh, you walk in. Trying to think of what they're talking. I'm trying to think of what they're talking about. Um, you know what? They're talking about adult stuff. I don't know if Umi particularly cares what they're talking about.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Umi
Yes.
just walks over to Antler and starts tugging on on
Y-
his robe a little.
yeah. They're talking about adult stuff as far as you care. But as soon as Antler feels the tugging, he holds up a hand to stop Rusiel and looks down at Umi and goes, "Yes. What is it?"
Umi just signs, "Let's go to the ocean."
And Antler raises a brow. Now.
Umi nods. Oh,
I cannot convince you to wait a few moments, can't I?
Umi considers this. How long is a few moments?
5 minutes.
They will wait.
Hmm.
Not they're not that impatient. They'll wait the 5 minutes.
Antler doesn't say it, but he does appreciate that, as he will turn back to Rusiel and finish up their adult conversation.
I think Umi just sits on a nearby chair and just swings their legs while waiting.
One of the chairs. Oh, the new chairs that Antler just got in because it's like it's like a new meeting table with nice chairs with plush cushioning on them, and Umi's just sitting on one, getting it completely soaked.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm so sorry, Antler, but also chair, soft chair. Of course Umi would sit in it.
It does just take 5 minutes for Antler to finish up the conversation with Rusiel. It looked like they were near the end of their conversation anyway. So Umi, you came in at actually not too terrible a time. Uh, so by the time they're finished up, Rusiel will actually look back at Umi, flick an ear before leaving the room, and then Antler will turn his attention to Umi, look at the state of the chair they're sitting in, and then sigh before gesturing for them to get up. Going, all right. Enough sullying. I just got these chairs.
Umi like Umi like gets up and walks over to Antler.
Yeah, Antler's gonna wave a hand of prestidigitation to dry off the chair.
I feel like the spell's been getting so much mileage ever since Umi came to the castle.
So much mileage. I'm so glad he has prestidigitation. You get so much mileage out of this one cantrip.
Yeah.
Anyways, so...
And Umi's just like kind of tugging on Antler's robe, like, come on.
Yes, I'm coming. No need to pull. And yeah, Antler will follow Umi down the stairs, and he will actually start heading towards the front entrance.
Umi like tilts their head, but then considers that maybe the entrance they usually use in the underground river might be a little too small for an adult like Antler.
Antler
will follow.
Yeah, and and in Antler's mind, he figures that they'll probably go to the ocean. He's in Antler's mind. They're going to the dock. They're going to the docks at Little Corner. So that's the direction he is heading.
And Umi follows. Like, I'm tempted to roll something real quick though. I'm so tempted to roll something. May I roll something real quick?
What are you rolling?
I'm just suddenly realizing that Antler is an adult who is much taller than Umi, and Umi is one, a child, and two, like.
Oh, disadvantage on land. Can Umi keep up?
Yeah. What's the first roll? Okay, 12. Umi can keep up, but they are lagging a little behind.
I'm gonna make a roll. It's gonna be a D2. Okay. Probably, I imagine this being one of those where Antler is just keeping a steady pace, and Umi is, like, kind of lagging behind and then has to hurry up to catch up, lags behind, hurries up to keep up, that kind of thing. And probably around the fourth time that happens, Antler doesn't say anything, but about halfway to Little Corner, Umi, you notice that Antler has slowed down just enough to where you're not having to keep hurrying to keep up.
Umi does not point it out because they don't think Antler will appreciate it being pointed out, but they do appreciate it.
Yeah, Antler will not say a word. Antler will not point it out. He will not say a word of it.
And neither will Umi. They will just continue walking to the docks.
Continue in complete silence.
Yeah.
No, cat, no, don't lay on my desk right now, baby. I know, baby cat, I love you, but off you go. I need access to my keyboard. Yeah, so get to Little Corner, and yeah, Umi, you notice that the town is much more lively now. People are a lot happy that Mazzy is gone, and they can basically go back to what they were doing before, but maybe a bit better. Maybe the Little Corner Guard had some sense knocked into them, so they're doing their jobs maybe a bit better now too. So
yeah. Gosh, I'm just realizing that like Umi, like before like the riot, Umi was like probably a myth among these guys. Like hey, there is this child, like a ghost maybe? Question mark. Have you ever seen them near the water? And now here they are, just like walking next to like the new mayor.
Yep, next to the mayor, who has enough gossip about him as well. There's definitely some people that they pass along the way who will. Some who maybe recognize Umi from the riot. A lot of people recognize Antler, obviously, and they will and they will, as pass by, they will smile and wave, say hello to Antler, who just nods. Do you want to roll insight on Antler, actually?
Yeah, sure. Insight, insight, insight. Okay, their insight is actually pretty decent.
17.
17.
That's pretty good. As the people of town, are smiling as you guys are passing by and waving, saying, "Oh, hello, good morning, Antler. How you doing?" That sort of thing. It's pleasantries. They're being nice. And when you look up at Antler, though, he's just been nodding. He's not really been giving much answer. Not really stopping for conversation, but he's been polite about it. But you, with the 17, um, you notice each time someone like looks up at him and smiles, his ear kind of flicks a little bit and almost tilts down, like he's not used to that.
Umi takes note of this, but also like Umi like again, Umi does not point it out. Umi does not even really like know why Antler's unused to being greeted nicely. Umi's Umi will just file it away and then like not think about it.
Well, it's been put in your files at least. Uh,
Yeah.
Umi, you're the one who gets probably the warmest welcome once you guys get to the docks. Because the fishermen
Uh,
definitely know you by now, Umi, and honestly, I can say the fishermen and the dock workers are always happy to see you at this point.
yeah, it probably helps again. Umi is an ocean warlock and probably knows where they can get the most fish.
Yep. There's probably like one fisherman who will as Umi is passing by will offer one of their morning catch to Umi.
Umi takes it immediately like and hugs like the fish with their arms.
Hugs the fish.
Well, Umi is a kid. Fish are huge.
That's not a big. It's not a big fish. It's probably like a decent sized fish for Umi to have.
Oh, in that case, yeah, they're gonna hold the fish. God, and God, I'm gonna roll a D2 real quick. Okay, they take the fish and they nod. And Antler, when you look behind you, Umi is eating the fish.
That's not surprising to Antler at all. Or at least that you're
Yeah.
eating the fish. He does take note of how warmly you're welcomed there at the docks. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're now at the docks, and Antler now looks to Umi and goes, "All right, we're here. Now, what do you want to do?"
Umi finishes up the rest of their fish, tossing like considering the head before like squirreling it away into their hammer space, before like looking at Antler and signing, "Let's go underwater."
Underwater. Hmm. Antler looks at the ocean, takes a look at what he is currently wearing, and then looks at you, Umi.
Umi tilts their head. Don't you have that spell that cleans water off anyway?
Does not change the fact that I am not entirely dressed for swimming.
Umi like considers this before going walk on water.
Now it's Antler's turn to consider that, and he would. I do not have the spell myself. Do you have it?
Umi nods. Probably like, of course Umi has it.
Yeah. And Antler sighs and goes, "Of course." Very well then.
Umi, again, Umi is extremely hard to read, but they do seem a little more spirited as they fake out their like spellcasting focus and cast Water Walk on Antler.
You, uh, Antler's probably gonna wait until Umi gets in the water before taking a step out himself.
Yeah,
And also,
and
before he does, he will also look at Umi very sternly and, I would very much appreciate it if you did not drop me at any point in the water. Is that clear?
Umi Umi blinks before signing. It's not a concentration spell.
Yes, but you are friends with Ruby.
They think about this for a moment before kind of doing a cross their heart kind of gesture.
I'm gonna roll insight real quick on Antler's part, just to see how. Because I'm sorry, he's a suspicious old butt. It's a 22.
Yeah, Antler, you should know by now. Umi's not lying.
He still has to check. He still has to check in his mind. But
You know
Antler
what?
will.
Umi don't blame him though, cause and Ruby.
Yeah. Again, you are friends with a certain child under his responsibility, who would in fact probably think of dropping him in the water. Uh,
Yeah.
Either way, Antler will walk to the lowest docks, uh, before carefully taking a step out to water. And by the way, there are fishermen who are definitely seeing this and are absolutely going to be talking about it.
What are they even going to be talking about
I
though?
don't
Like
know, but it's the town gossip basically.
nothing to see here. Just the mayor going to hang out with the strange ocean child.
I mean, they don't see it weird that they don't think it's weird that Umi's bringing someone along to the ocean, but the fact that it's their mayor who, a couple weeks prior was a skeleton.
There are a few people. I'm betting there are a few people in town who hear about this, and it's just like, are we sure this child isn't like a siren who just kidnapped our mayor or something?
There's probably some gossip about that, and there's also gossip of like, hey, so like, are we sure our mayor isn't also like some evil magical monster or something? That kind of thing. It's gossip. It's town gossip. It happens. Anyways, off to the
Yeah,
ocean.
yeah. After the ocean, Umi is like sticking closer to the shallow surface so the antler does not lose track of them. But antler, you yeah, like you've seen Umi in the water before, but like in the ocean specifically, they're in their element. There's none of the awkwardness that you usually associate with them when they're on land.
Yeah, and this is trying to think because currently, he's just walking along the surface, calmly watching Umi, following along. But me and me Fable in my brain is just like, oh man, this is such a cool visual.
Yeah, it is. Especially when they start getting into the deeper waters and like the water obviously like they are getting to the deeper parts of the ocean and the water just starts darkening and darkening more. And
Remi-
like
remind me how long water walk
water
lasts.
walk lasts. Yeah,
Yeah.
water walk lasts us for like an hour, so like we're fine.
Okay. I'm just checking because I just wanna.
Always recast it.
I actually don't see it here on your character sheet. Where is it?
Oh, DMV is the sucky thing where if you don't have all the homebrew files I myself have downloaded, it won't show it to you.
Okay. Gotcha.
But if you actually, I think if you looked at the features, there'll be like something at the bottom of my list of features that says show selection, and that's basically like the selection of all the homebrew that's not showing you right now.
Okay. Okay. Now I was just making sure I know what spell I'm dealing with, so that way I can be aware of what might happen.
Don't worry, it's not concentration spell, and Umi wouldn't be able to drop you in the water even if they wanted to Antler, because the spell specifically states that if the creature is submerged in water, they'll float up.
Nice. Good. Good. Good.
But
Good.
yeah,
Because
for like the time being, Umi just seems to like be having like fun like in the ocean and occasionally going back to Antler like holding something pretty they found.
like what
Seashells.
is Umi giving them to Antler, or are they just showing it?
They will offer Antler a few, but like it's up to Antler if he wants to actually take them or not.
I'm gonna roll a D. I'm gonna roll a D2 because up to this point, Antler's kind of again. He's just been silently following along, and anytime Umi comes up to show him something, he kind of just hums and nods, like he's not super interested in it, but like he agreed to this, so he's not gonna purposely be an asshole. But I'm gonna see if he will actually take it. I think he will let Umi. He will let Umi hold on to them.
Mm-hmm. Umi won't really mind. They didn't really think Antler would take it.
It's not that I mean the seashells are pretty. He just doesn't really have not really use for these ones.
Mm-hmm. And Umi's just like, and every now and then Umi brings like something like fish, or something like fish, or there's like gold doubloons, and you're just like, is there a shipwreck around here? And Umi just shrugs.
Antler will point at the gold doubloons and will ask Umi where they got these. Where did they find them?
Umi just points at a patch of sea that looks exactly the same as the sea all around you.
You're going to need to be more descriptive. I can't see it from here.
Umi kind of Umi kind of like consider this before going. It's pretty deep under the surface. Pretty old shipwreck. Most of it is already weathered away by the elements, but there are still a few things and gold coins like left behind.
Hmm. I think if Umi's okay, will probably take a few of the gold that they brought up, and
Oh yeah, Umi's fine with that. Umi does not like care about gold.
hmm,
They
would you
have an agreement with Ruby that whenever they go on explorations like these, Umi like takes all the cool magic items, but Ruby takes all the gold.
hmm. Antler will Antler will take the gold and inspect it real quick before looking back at Umi. If you would, could you collect a few more of these? And he will hold up the gold for Umi to look at.
Umi Umi puts their hat and nods before going right now or in general.
In general, but now would also be preferable.
Umi shrugs and go pops back under to like collect more gold. They don't know why Antler wants them to collect these gold coins in particular, but they sure are collecting them.
Gold is gold.
Gold is gold. And if Antler's gonna be hanging out with Umi in the middle of the ocean, might as well get some gold from it, huh?
Yeah, may as well profit from it. Uh,
Yes.
but while Umi is up, I think Antler will take a moment to like look up at the sky and just kind of feel the sea breeze on him, on his
Yeah,
face.
like it's like it is like genuinely like pretty. Like there's no noise except like the lapping of like seawater. Like the sea breeze is cool. The day isn't too hot, and you can like feel the warmth of the sun kissing your skin.
I kind of want there to be like a ship sailing in the distance,
Yeah.
and like just cut to that ship like someone with a spyglass that's on Antler right now, and they're just like and they're just like dude, there's a guy standing on the water. What? Yeah, there's a guy standing on the water. You're seeing things, man. No, there's a dude standing on the water. I just want that to be happening in the background.
God, please. And Umi, like, every now and then, Umi pops up to, like, offer Antler more gold, and the guy with the sky glass is just getting frantic, going, there's a child swimming in the water.
Meanwhile, the other dude's not even given his cohort the time of day. Just going like, dude, you drank too much last night. Okay, you're still recovering from a hangover. Like, put it away, man.
No, no, there is a child swimming there.
Uh huh. Uh huh. The child swimming in the water in the middle of the ocean. Sure.
Oh my god.
Just something like that happening in the background. How much gold do you think Antlers managed to Umi's brought up at this point?
Probably not too much. Like they said, the ship is like mostly in tatters. There's only like a few gold coins. I'd say like about 15 GP.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad, but like most sunken ships would have like actual treasure chests, especially like toon ships.
Well, either way, Hey, you know what? Gold is gold, so I'm taking that 15 GP and I'm adding it. But yeah, Antler will probably pull out a. Actually, you know what? I will. Hammer space 7. Antler will pull out his bag of gold coins and add the gold to the to his wallet, quote unquote.
Umi just kind of like floats like around Antler for a bit, like kind of like swimming around them before asking how Antler's doing.
What do you mean?
Umi kind of tilts their head. They know that some people get scared when they realize that they're in the middle of like the ocean.
Antler gives like the slightest shrug. It it is another place on the planet, not fair, filled with other living things, just like a forest. Not much to be scared of.
Umi nods. Umi nods sagely. That's what they think. But some people get intimidated at the thought that like there's a lot like going on under the surface that they're never going to be privy to. And also they're afraid they'd drown.
Hmm. Fear of drowning is an understandable fear to have. However, I do not think it is what's in the ocean that frightens people so much as when you look down, they cannot see the bottom. It's the unknown that frightens people more.
Umi considers this. And then signs like, if the unknown scares people so much, then why don't they just try?
Hmm?
Like, if the unknown scares people so much, then why don't they just learn more about it?
Some people are afraid of what they might find.
That's foolish.
Perhaps.
Are you afraid of things that you might find?
Antler considers this question, and he looks down at the ocean. In concerns to the ocean, no. I
What
cannot.
about other things?
Roll insight.
Okay, sure. Jesus Christ, Umi. That's a 19.
That's a
Okay.
night. That's a 19. Antler. Antler's gaze turns from the. Antler's gaze turns from the ocean to the horizon. Just he's not looking at anything in particular, but he's just looking away as he's thinking about it. And you see his ears twitch a little bit, and he does not say anything, but he is definitely. There's definitely something he's thinking about that may be a yes to your question, but he won't say what.
And Umi considers this. Umi considers this, and Umi like kind of thinks about this for a few moments because they don't know Antler to even like know like to even know what could possibly like scare Antler so much. But they just sign like learning to get over a fear is easier when there's other people nearby.
Hmm. 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 Antler gives a dry chuckle at that. It's not an amused one, but
Umi's bros knit together and they look at Antler like, what are you laughing at? Like they don't sign it. That's just like what their gaze like pretty much implies.
and Antler just he looks at you, Umi, before shaking his head. It is not important, and he will He will. If he will start to stand up, and he will likely drop the conversation if allowed.
Gosh. I'm gonna roll a d2 real quick.
All right.
And I'm hoping I. Oh god. Alright, if it's a 1, Umi will let the conversation drop. If it's a 2, Umi's gonna say something.
It's a two.
Oh, uh, okay, Antler, you see Umi like think before like signing. Does this have something to do with that sword you summon when we spar?
Antler stops, and actually he looks down at you, Umi, and goes, "Surprisingly, no, it does not have to do with the sword."
Umi tilts their head before they finally like kind of let it drop. They're curious, but also they don't care enough to
No,
try.
no, Antler knows this, and he considers, uh, my conflicts with that sword are simply because I have a history with it, nothing more.
Umi just kind of like stares at you a little while longer before nodding and letting it drop.
And Antler will let it drop as well.
Yeah. Good thing with Umi is like even though every now and then they do like say like every now and then they do ask you really hard questions. For the most part, they let stuff drop.
Now, and Antler probably appreciates that to some degree.
Eh.
So
Mm.
I imagine the next couple minutes go pretty much the same as Antler just walks on the water and watches Umi swim about.
Yeah, like Antler, you can roll inside if you like.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta close my window. There's really like beeping happening outside. Let's see, what's your insight again, buddy? What is it? 5. 8.
Yeah, Antler, you, the mysteries of Umi is a mystery to you. You notice nothing. You're God. +5 in insight, and you rolled an 8.
Yeah,
I can't give you anything for that.
I
If you
know.
even rolled a 10, I would have been.
Do you maybe can I roll again?
I mean, I want to give you advantage, but like you said, like during the riot game, I don't think these two have like. Then again, Umi is a child, and this isn't actually that hard to parse. So I'll give you like roll again.
Thank you. 23.
Oh, 23. Okay. Antler, as you're watching Umi, like, Umi swim around you, who like swim below you, like just like, exploring like the ocean and occasionally coming back with seashells or fish. Like, you are beginning to realize that, like, Umi just wanted you here to like kind of like have someone to spend time with, like in the ocean. Like, yeah, obviously they wanted to show you like stuff in the ocean as well, but for the most part right now they seem to just be enjoying your company.
At that realization, Antler will make a gesture for Umi to come back up, uh, as he will kneel down, and just so it's easier to talk to them,
Yeah.
and he will ask, you could have had Ruby come along with you.
Umi considers this before signing. I don't have to I don't have to make deals to make Ruby come along with me.
Why did you want to bring me along, though?
If they give a shrug. Just wanted to.
That's not much of an answer.
It's it's all they've got. It's all they've got. Like Antler, like you say that's not much of an answer, and Umi literally just gives you like a shrug. Like they don't know what to tell you, man. It just felt like it.
I will take into consideration that you are a child and you do not know much of who I am, but I am not necessarily a person one just hangs out with or would wish to hang out with.
Umi tilts their head. Ruby hangs out with you.
Ruby is a child who is also a child who, I'm afraid, does not always know what is best either. And and added to that, she has reasons to be where she is.
Umi kind of like stares right through you before signing and me.
I do not know why you have stuck around. I assumed at first it was for Ruby.
Umi kind of like looks at Antler, and then kind of looks at the sea, and then kind of looks at Antler again, and signs. You and Ruby have a lot in common.
Antler blinks at that, and how so?
You both overthink things way too much.
I hardly overthink anything.
Can't I just want to show you the ocean?
And Antler. Oh man, Antler doesn't have a response to it. I
God, wisdom versus intelligence.
I mean, Antler's got a good amount of wisdom too. It's just a case of
Yeah, I know it's. But then again, I'm pretty sure Antler doesn't have an 18.
he does not. He does not. But this isn't a wisdom versus intelligence thing. It's literally it's something else that. Oh man, yeah. Antler doesn't have
Is Antler short circuiting right now?
a
Like
little
is
bit. Yeah, yeah. He's kind of lost for words at the moment. Actually, you
Umi just
saying
kind of swims around him, like waiting for him to like reboot his brain.
I think eventually he will just shake his head and say to Umi, "You are a very odd child. You know that, yes?"
Most children don't play in the sea. Yes.
No, they do not. Well, let us hope you eventually learn better as time goes on. And he will stand up, and I think he will start walking back into the direction of Little Corner.
He and Umi will start swimming after him. And I still have a stat block open here, Fable.
Mm-hmm. Do I need
Still
to
have
roll?
a...
Do I need to roll perception?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Where's your perception? Wait, where is it? There it is. Haha. Wait, yes. I always have to double check.
Where
14.
I'm gonna roll stealth. Da da dee, da da da, da dee da da da. Oh, that makes sense actually. It's a 9.
9.
Um, Antler, you're like briskly like power walking across the surface of the water, and you notice like out of the corner of your eye, like in the far distance, a fin cut through the surface of the water like a boat before sinking under again.
Antler will, hmm. Don't think he'd be. I don't. I think. Obvious to say what that is. Obvious to say what that is when you see a fin pop up over the water. Uh, but he is going to look back to see where Umi is as well.
Umi is kind of like behind Antler, and I'm gonna roll perception for them. That's a 14. I'm gonna roll another spell. Oh, that's a crit fail. Okay, Antler, Umi is behind you in the water and was like previously just swimming like behind you. But then you notice them kind of freeze.
Ne-
Notice them kind of like freeze and like their swimming starts getting like not agitated. It's more like more purposeful. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Makes sense. I'm just trying to think what Antler.
Just
What
like
I think Antler would probably increase briskness towards Little Corner and be expect and checking back to make sure Umi is following him.
yep, Umi is following him,
Cool.
but I'm gonna make one last roll. That's a 6. Okay, Antler, Umi is following you, but you also definitely see when the water like some ways off starts to swell.
Lovely. Uh, Antler will probably look back at Umi and oh man, calling back to the calling back to them while they're underwater probably wouldn't really work. Really work. Oh wait, what am I
Yeah,
doing? He has message. Duh.
yeah.
He has message. I think what he's gonna do is that he's gonna his eyes are gonna glow blue for a second, and Umi, you're gonna hear his voice in your head say, Do you know how to deal with sharks?"
You like there is a moment of silence before you hear a voice you've never heard before, because you know Umi's never spoken near Antler.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's not a shark.
Wait, what?
That's not a shark.
Ah, and what is it?
Do you know what orcas are?
Ah, that is slightly more concerning.
I don't usually see those separated from their paw.
Hmm.
They're usually they're usually they're usually in a group. And like Umi's voice is like flat, but there is like an undercurrent of like like most orcas are in a group and they hunt together and they get a lot of food. For this one to be not only separated but alone and gunning straight for them implies that this one's hungry and
Yeah,
desperate.
yeah. He figures that. Antler knows of orcas. He certainly read about them, but uh, he's not an ocean man, so this is not his area of expertise. So I think he would. So Umi, you would hear Antler's voice again, ask, "And how would you recommend dealing with this one?"
Orcas don't Orcas, even desperate orcas, don't attack land dwellers.
I'm sorry, Vamp. I didn't hear what you said.
Um, Umi basically said the antler will be safe. Because
I,
even a desperate orca doesn't usually like go for like quote unquote humans because not much nutritious value. But antler like they kind of excluded themselves from that statement.
yeah, Antler noticed that, and again, Umi, you're gonna hear him say, "And what about you?"
Umi kind of blinks at antler and goes, "I'm not a land dweller. I'm part of the sea."
And you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna make a roll.
Are you making?
That
Oh
was that was
God,
that was a fumble. That was a fumble. Great.
stumble in the
Uh,
middle of you.
so Umi, you see. Okay, good. You see Antler as he's briskly walking, reaching into his hammer space. He reaches in, he pulls out the gold coin package. He looks at that. It's like, no, that's not what I want. Puts it back in quickly, shuffles in on the other side of his hammer space, and pulls out. Ah, there it is. He pulls out his staff. Uh, and then Umi, you are gonna once again hear cast message, and he's gonna say, "It might be best for you to come up here and join me."
Umi blinks at that. Uh, they, they dip back underwater for a moment, and you hear the muffled like sound of their conch shell from underwater before they're suddenly like floating up to the water and standing next to Antler.
Cool. At that, then Antler has absolutely no delusion that he can outpower walk an orca, a swimming orca. So
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can definitely see. I'm not even gonna make you roll perception at this point. You can definitely see the black like shape that's beginning to like circle around you both.
yeah, Antler has put him has without a word made sure that Umi is now standing close to him while he is going to he's going to hold his staff in one hand and then wave the other hand over the horns basically that are at the top with electric blue magic, and
Oh,
Umi, you see the horns light up in magic and suddenly extend outward as Antler has just casted Booming Blade on his staff. Essentially, if this thing tries to come and take a bite, he's gonna stab it. Hello? Hello? Uh oh. Vamp?
hello.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry. The scar just died on me.
Oh shit, where'd I lose you?
You mentioned that Antler's horns were glowing with electric magic.
The horns that are on his staff,
Me?
those have basically started to glow, and they have basically they have stretched like about a foot to make it look more like make him look more like spear blades, as he has casted Booming Blade on his staff. So
Yeah.
and he is basically gonna wait, and if this orca does attempt to come and take a bite at either him or Umi, he's gonna he's gonna stab it.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom for this orca just cause like that is like electricity right there.
Yep.
And it might decide that this isn't worth it. It rolled a 13. I think it's wary. It's wary, but it's still gonna make like an attempted bite just to see. I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Cool. If it's coming up to try and take a nip again, I'm gonna.
That's a 22. Yeah. The orca like disappears on the water Antler, and you think for a moment that it fucking went away. Like it like, seeing like your display of power. But then like the water like around you surges and it takes a nip straight out of Umi's leg.
Cool. So that's gonna Antler's gonna immediately take a stab at it. I really hope he hits it. Please hit. Please hit. Please hit. He's doing this he's gonna be doing this two-handed. Please hit. Please hit. Is that a hit?
That doesn't hit.
That does not?
That does not.
Motherfucker!
That does not hit. God, that just missed. Its armor class is 12.
Ah! Yeah,
Like-
it just manages to duck under the water then, just before But if it's missed, that means Booming Blade is still in effect on the staff, I believe. So
Yeah. And I'm gonna roll damage for Umi. Oh god, that got them down to bloodied immediately.
oh
Let's see.
well.
Umi.
30 minus 19. Jesus. Okay.
I did not expect to roll like that high for God. That's
This is an orca taking a bite out of a child's leg. What were your thoughts? What were your
Might I
thoughts? What was your?
might I remind you that I was like, hey Fable, when we were planning the FPS, I was like, hey Fable, does this sheet look good to use? And you were like, oh yeah, sure, that looks good to use.
It looked fine because you know what? I was just like, it's got an AC of 12, so that shouldn't be too hard to hit.
Yeah, me too. That's what I thought. But
so what is Umi's response to getting bit?
well, the thing is, Umi doesn't have any spells left because you know, fucking warlocks, and they just use both their spell slots for water wall.
I mean, they've got
Oh,
cantrips.
yeah, they do have cantrips, but I think Umi's actually going to. That's a 9. They're actually going to take out their Smithar and do a slash. 'Cause, you know, cantrips would work, but you know, and slashing. And they're gonna, let's see, da da dee da da dee da 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 dee da da da. The Muntar Smithar. That's a. Oh, that's a 23. Antler. Umi gets bit by the orca and like does a little grimace that doesn't otherwise try out. And then you see that sword that you once taught them to use in their other hand, and they just like straight up like stab the orca.
All right. So in those few seconds, that yeesh. Well, how does the orca feel about getting stabbed?
Hold on, I have to roll damage first. That's 11, and I'm gonna roll wisdom to see if the orca still decides this is worth it. That's a 12. I mean, a 12 is above a 10, but at the same time, Umi did not actually do that much damage to it.
Yeah, and Antler hasn't managed to even land a hit either.
Yeah, so it just disappears like underwater, and like you're pretty sure it did not like leave.
No, Antler's positive it did. I mean, I imagine it's still like doing circles around them.
Yeah. And
Cool.
Umi's just like staring at their leg, and it's just like, ah, that's not good.
No, it's not. Uh,
Hey, well, it had an AC of 12. I was
no,
like,
no, it's not that. It's Antler's considering doing something.
oh god, Antler, what are you considering?
Give me a second. I'm just checking something.
Hey, well, that concerns me so much. Do you know how concerning that is?
I know. Just give me a sec. I need to find. There it is. When in doubt, when you need something to not miss, magic missile.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just debating what level. You know what? I'm just gonna do a whiz. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna do a roll for Antler real quick. There's a four.
Oh,
Okay, that was a 4. So that was a 4 whiz save.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a 4 whiz save. So I'm just gonna, yeah. Oh, that's so many though. That's too much for.
It was a. Oh god, that I think that's the first time I've seen Antler fail with save around Umi.
Yeah, this is the worst he has ever failed a whiz save, and because he has failed a whiz save this badly, and considering the conversation he's just had with Umi, that this child willingly wants to spend time with him of all people, he thought it was obvious why. Uh, point is, this orca is probably going to be dead in a second because Antler's going to be casting magic missile at a very high level to basically, get done with this. I'm not happy dealing with this for a second longer. So, what's the?
You know, when we were planning this, I genuinely was like, oh yeah, Antler's just gonna like spend a few moments debating whether to help Umi or not.
Yeah,
I did not
originally that was the plan. But that was before the game. But that was before the game we just had, and that was before Umi said that they wanted to hang out with Antler. So, anyways, I've just got to figure out the magic missile stats again and how many magic missiles you get when cast at 5th level, because he's just gonna might as well hit it with the strongest attack that makes sure it's dead, and so one hit kill, don't have to deal with it in the second round. You know what I mean? That's the logic here. that I'm going with. How many? How many? God damn it! How many? Buh, buh, buh. Spell creates one more dart for each slot level above first level. So this would be three glowing darts. So above first level. Doing this at fifth level, so that's gonna be. Help me! I can't do math.
You want me to help you? Fifth level, right?
Yeah, fifth level magic missile.
Okay, magic missile.
Three glow. He already has three glowing darts. You get one more dart for each slot level above first.
So that's four darts.
So
So
that's four more
all in
darts.
all,
So
you have
seven.
seven
Okay,
darts.
yeah, seven
So that's
darts.
74 plus 7.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Roll for it, my man.
Do I even need to roll damage? We both know that this orc is gonna be dead, but when this is done.
You say that, but if you roll like once.
That would be really funny if I do. So wait, 74 plus 7?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the plus 1 force damage to... Right, okay. Yeah, okay. Just gonna do this in one thing. 26!
I.
What are you doing?
That's its HP.
What math are you doing? That's its HP?
Yeah, it has 90 HP.
Really? Gross.
But you know what? I'm gonna roll with save.
Oh, also.
I'm gonna roll with save at advantage here, because even though it still has HP left, that hit hard. Yeah, I'd say a fan makes it like Antler, your magic missiles like go, like it buries itself into the orca in a spray of like water, and like the orca actually doesn't look that badly off, but it seems to like decide fuck it and like dive back down underwater and away.
Yeah, I also need to do magic surge because Antler is a wild magic sorcerer. So whenever he casts anything that's not a cantrip, a magical effect can happen when he casts magic. So I need to see what a 14 on the chart is. What is it? Uh, you cast confusion centered on yourself. What?
Oh yeah, wild magic can sometimes have ill effects on yourself.
So wait, so has Antler just casted confusion on himself?
Yeah, basically antlers. Hold on, let me pull up confusion 5e. I'm
No.
pretty sure. Yeah, the target each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within range must succeed on a wisdom save or be affected by it. Antler Umi's right next to you.
Hey Umi, do you wanna make a save real quick?
And just spray your hands. Like Umi has high whiz. Oh no! No. Fuck.
Yeah, 10 is definitely. Should I also make a save, or it's centered on Antler? So
Yeah, so no. Antler doesn't have to make a save. Everything else that's within 10 feet of Antler has to do. So I'm gonna roll for the Orca before it leaves. Yeah, the Orca fails it too.
this orca, Umi and the orca are very dizzy. Though Umi, I don't think Umi would know if it's because of the magical effect or because of the blood loss.
Yeah, fair enough. Roll a d10 to determine its behavior for each turn. So I'm gonna roll for Umi. Okay, so Umi's just still. Like Umi's just like really frozen still. And I'm gonna roll for the Orca.
Baby is just very.
Yeah, the Orca is also like the Orca also like goes abruptly still and kind of like sinks.
Antler is currently kind of taking deep breaths as he's recovering from the amount of magic that he just used, and he's also looking at and it takes him a second before he realizes that he realizes like the magical surge that came from him, and he looks over at Umi and kind of sees probably sees like a bits of like magical sparkles around their eyes that show that they're under confusion,
Yeah,
and he just
Umi's
goes,
like stuck still.
yeah, and he just goes, ah, right. And he's gonna wave a hand. He's gonna look over at at the orca that I'm sure he can still see. Then he's gonna look at
Yeah.
Umi. Wave at, just like free a hand to wave in front of Umi's eyes just to see if they can see at all.
Can you see? I'm pretty sure they
Probably.
can. They're just like their eyes are just kind of like leery because fucking under confusion.
Yeah, Umi, I don't think you're able to focus on anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Ant-
God.
Antler's gonna sigh and just look at the orca again. Uh, he's gonna keep his. Is this concentration? No, it's the duration of one round. So Booming Blade has definitely faded away. But he's gonna keep his staff out, and then he's gonna bite the bullet, and he's gonna pick up Umi under an arm, and start power walking again towards Little Corner.
God. The fact this person will come and just violence, didn't it?
Yeah. Antler failed the whiz save. Uh,
Umi failed the whiz save. Umi has a +7 to those.
so Umi, I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little skippy do here. Of Umi, things are very the next. I want to say maybe the next hour or so is very dizzy for you, and you're having trouble really keeping focus on it. You're aware that you are being carried at the very least, but you can't do much about it. You're aware that voices start picking up, and
I think like Umi's just gonna like curl into whatever is carrying them and just kind of like grab at like the fabric.
yeah, you're being quickly carried somewhere. Voices have risen and are talking back and forth. One said voices is very what's the word um
Familiar?
familiar and raised and is definitely causing the other voices to be maybe a bit more panicked and rushed. Uh, and I want to say by the time your senses come back to you, you are I want to say you are sitting in bu- 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 you are at the little corners not really hot. It's not. I don't know if Little Corner doesn't really have a hospital, but it does have a doctor's a doctor's place that Umi you have been taken to and have been quickly. You look down at your leg and you see that it has been bandaged and patched up.
I will say that Umi knows what bandages are and what they're used for, but they also can't help like the instinct to like reach out and scratch at it.
Uh, you see, you see a hand finally come into view that just moves your hand away from your leg and goes, "Don't leave it be."
Umi kind of tilts their head and looks over at the hand and like, is it Antler?
Yeah, and Umi, you're kind of on like a you basically got set on like a little doctor's bench thing. I don't know what it's called, but it's not a bed.
Cot?
A what?
A cot. That's what it's called.
Yeah, cot. That's it. Yeah, you're on a cot at the moment. And Antler is sitting beside. And Antler has been sitting beside your cot.
And Umi kind of blinks, and then they look at their leg, and then they remember what happened, and then they nod like, "Oh yeah, that happened, huh?"
Yeah, and Antler doesn't. God, he doesn't say anything. He just makes sure Umi doesn't try and scratch at their bandaged leg. Before the doctor will come back in and just they're talking. It's more adult stuff that they're going to be talking to Antler about, and 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 you know what?
Yeah.
You see Antler. They're talking about adult stuff, and you see Antler reach into his hammer space again, and he pulls out his coin purse, and you see him take out the 15 gold that you just gotten today, and he uses that to pay the doctor.
Oh Umi kind of blinks at that and then kind of like looks at Antler and tilts their head. This Antler is spending gold. Do you know how much Antler likes gold?
Antler notices that he's being stared at and just raises an eyebrow. Before back to the gold person goes, oh, this is what gold is used for.
Umi looks at the gold and Umi looks at Antler. And like they know what gold is used for, but they're not gonna tell Antler what they actually were staring.
And Antler's gonna choose not to question further. But yeah, they do a bit more talking and I want to. God, I'm trying to. Umi, your health has pretty much been
Restored?
yeah, restored. But the doctor is pretty much saying that and Antler will probably repeat it for Umi because he assumes Umi's not listening to the doctor talk about adult stuff.
Right. Like he's human, right?
Yeah. Once the doctor is left, Antler is going to repeat to Umi that hey, no, your leg got a bit messed up, so you're gonna have to you're gonna need to stay off it for a little bit for it to heal properly.
Umi kind of like blinks at that, but like again, expression doesn't change. But Antler, you get the feeling that they're kind of like miffed about that because having one of their legs out of commission means they can't swim.
Nope. Probably not.
Yep.
And yeah, Antler sees this and just gives this like he doesn't look very unimpressed by the huff. He's like, it cannot be helped. Either you.
Me kind of looks at Antler and looks on her like, and like, but not.
And Antler will he's already stood up from the chair he was sitting in before he sighs, and then he's about to tell Umi to come along, but then he again looks at Umi's leg and realizes that yeah, Umi needs to stay off the leg. Gonna roll another d2. Alright, okay. Umi, you see Antler stand up. He looks at you, looks at your leg, looks at you, looks at your leg. He tilts his head back and sighs. Before he will offer his arms to you and just, alright, come on then.
Umi kind of blinks again, but then like kind of reaches out to let themselves be carried.
Yup, Antler will pick you up and he's gonna to carry you back to Ruindal.
I think like I'm actually gonna roll something really quick before we end things. Please, 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 please. Okay, all right.
What's a 15 do?
Umi does not fall asleep in the middle of the week.
Nah.
Yeah, that was like I was like, will they? I mean, technically they were just healed and they're like just got messed up. I think I could roll the con at disadvantage. I could do that. That's within my power.
You can do that. Do you want to? It's a lot. It's a bit of a walk.
It's a 14. They get drowsy, but they don't like straight up fall asleep.
Yeah, I imagine they get back and Ruby's probably the one to greet them, and Ruby, upon seeing Umi's probably not going to be too happy about it. But
yeah, that's a worry for another day. In the meantime, Antler, when you look down on your arms, Umi is like rummaging through their shorts, and they take out a fish and kind of like hold it out like for dinner.
and how big is this fish?
Big enough that Umi has to use both hands to hold it.
Antler stares at the fish for a moment, and Fine, we can. Fine, yes, that will be fine for dinner, but we're not having it as is.
And Umi nods. Title chooses to cook as well. We understand that not everyone eats raw fish.
No, we can eat it raw, just not as is. And cut to later that night as Umi's stuck to as Umi's probably been given a seat at the counter in the kitchen while Antler shows Umi how to properly fillet a fish.
Mm. And Umi's actually for someone with a for someone with a messed up leg. Ever since you've like invited them to fillet the fish together with you, they seem to be in kind of high spirits.
Antler, I'm just gonna roll. I'm gonna make another roll for Antler real quick. 11. That was a deception roll. Antler's face, as usual, is for the most part kept. His face at least is kept pretty neutral, but his ears, Umi will have noticed that his ears have been perked up a little bit.
Aww. Actually, Antler, when you guys have actually finished filleting the fish, and finished preparing it, would you like to roll history or maybe intelligence or insight? Either one of those.
Let's do history because that's my best modifier.
Okay.
You're giving me the option. I'm taking history. 22.
Oh, 22. All right. You guys are like, I assume after they finish preparing the food, like they eat together, right?
Yeah.
And you notice that for someone who just got their like chum done, Umi seems to have like cheered up ever since like you guys started preparing food together. And Antler, for some odd reason, your mind casts back to, you know, when you were younger and you were reading about like ocean and ocean animals and their behavior, and you think you remember an entry that stated that a lot of like social like marine animals that live in like pods or little groups often prepare food together and eat it together as a bonding exercise.
This occurs to him halfway through the meal, and I think the moment it occurs to him, the only hint outward that he's realized this is that the chopsticks he was using for the fish have suddenly just snapped in half in his grip.
Yeah, and you remember in that very entry, like there was a testament from a photographer who stated, "Oh yeah, I once like went to take photographs of marine animals, and they often would offer me food
Antler,
as an offering."
Antler quickly dismisses himself from the table and will take his food to his room, and he's locking the door and not speaking to anybody.
And I think you can
That's-
end the FPS there.
Yeah. I think that's the place to end it. So yeah. And I want to say after this one that Umi and Antler could probably have advantage on insight on each other after this.
Yeah, probably yeah.
So that was so. Thank y'all for listening. Hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that happened a bit differently than I expected it to go.
Well, I didn't expect Dice Parser to win. Yeah, you're missing.
I didn't think Antler would fail that whiz save. But
I
anyways,
didn't think Umi would fail that with save.
yeah. But
I'm
anyways,
looking at my announcement now, and I wrote the angst rating. I should be low.
wasn't terribly high. We should just, make people aware that hey, yeah, a child gets bit by a big fish.
Yeah.
Anyways, love y'all. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah.